Welcome to the Tarleton State University Career Services Interview Level 2 video. My name is Rachel Snyder, and I'm the Career Development Coordinator for our College of Business. Today, we're going to go over the basics of interviewing. You can check out our website for additional resources. First, I would like to take a moment to thank our sponsors. They're wonderful supporters of career services, and they love to hire Tarleton students. I also want to mention our Career Cafe. The Career Cafe is where you can come and get your questions answered about interviews, resumes, career and major exploration, the job search, and more by one of our career coaches. Be sure to check out our website for updated times and location information. As a quick review, in the Interview Level 1 video, we cover what to do before, during, and after the interview. We also discuss professional attire and basic interview questions. During this video, we will cover tips for phone, video, and committee interviews. We will also cover some more potential interview questions and more advanced tips. Let's get started. First, let's talk about phone interviews. Even though the employer will not see you, dress professionally for a phone interview. It'll help boost your confidence and make you feel more professional. Have some water, your resume, any notes that you have, and the job description printed out in front of you in case you need to reference them. Also, be sure to charge your phone up to 100% before the interview and have a charger nearby just in case. Don't forget to close out all of your other apps if you're using a smartphone. Ideally, take the phone call in a quiet place where you can easily hear and be heard with minimal distractions. If there are other people around you, for example, in your home, let them know that you will be on a phone interview and ask them to try to remain quiet around you for the next hour or so. In addition to phone interviews, you may also find yourself interviewing for jobs or internships via video. This could be on Skype, Zoom, Microsoft Teams, or any other video conferencing platform. When preparing for a video interview, dress professionally from head to toe. If your video camera were to fall, you don't want to be caught in sweatpants or worse, your underwear. Since technology can take some time to set up, get ready for the interview an hour in advance. Test out the video software before the meeting. Make sure you have good lighting for the video. A good way to check this would be to have a video conference with a friend in advance to test out the lighting. This can be difficult to do, but try to look at the camera instead of the screen when you're talking. This helps the employers feel like you're actually looking at them. Lastly, some early interview phases can include you interacting with software that will give you prompts and record your answers for the employers to watch later. Verify if you're going to be interviewing with a person or if the interview is being recorded by software. Another common type of interview is the committee interview, where you will be interviewed by 2 or more people at the same time. You can treat this type of interview pretty similarly to a one-on-one interview, with a few key differences. In this situation, make sure that you treat each member of the committee equally. Introduce yourself to each person. When it comes to handshakes, use your best judgment based on the current health guidelines. Please note that this video was published in 2020 during the COVID-19 epidemic. When someone asks you a question, make eye contact with each committee member when possible, starting with the person who asked the question. Then, after the interview, send your thank you note to the head of the hiring committee. If you aren't able to send thank you notes to the entire committee, then send emails to everyone on the committee. Now that we've gone over some different types of interviews, let's discuss some more potential questions that you might be asked. Tell me about a time you worked with a difficult person. This is a behavior-based question, which essentially means that the employer wants to learn about you by talking about a specific situation. It's easy to get tripped up here by talking about the difficult person and then never getting around to talking about yourself. So make sure to briefly describe what was difficult and be brief. Don't vent about that person here and never say anything to identify them or the company. And then talk about how you dealt professionally with that person. Talking about how you handled the situation and the outcome is key here. Remember, the employer doesn't really care about that difficult person. They care about you. Another question you may face is, why should I hire you? Now is your moment to pitch yourself, so you definitely want to prepare for this question in advance. Be enthusiastic and elaborate on your qualifications, which you can pull from your resume. Restate your interest in the job at this time as well. Make sure that they know that part of the reason they want to hire you is your passion for the position. It may feel a bit cheesy to enthusiastically promote yourself in the interview, but the employer really does want to know why you think you are a good candidate for the job. So be honest and positive and reiterate your interest in the position. Here are a few more tips for you to keep in mind as you prepare for interviews. Always have questions to ask the interviewer. 3 to 5 is a good number. Then, if the employer answers some of your questions during the interview before you ask, you have some backup questions. These can be questions about the process. When can I expect to hear from you? Or what are the next steps in the hiring process? Questions about the job itself. What does a typical day on the job look like? Or questions for the person who could be your supervisor. How would you define your management style? Or how do you like for your employees to communicate with you? Take notes on the answers the employer provides so that you can remember and so that the employer knows that you care about their answers. Also, before you begin applying for positions, make sure that you have a professional voicemail set up and check it regularly. If you see that you have a voicemail, do not call back until you have listened to the full voicemail. Make sure that you're on your best behavior at the interview from the moment you get on the property. Be kind to the receptionist and be aware that there may be security cameras watching you at any point. I would recommend preparing some different stories or examples of scenarios ahead of time that could be applied to different situations. For example, if you had an experience where you had a customer who was having difficulty returning an order, that could be a story you use to answer the questions. Tell me about a time you dealt with a difficult customer. Tell me about a time you had to solve a problem. Or tell me about a time when you had to deal with conflict. Lastly, have multiple interview outfits if possible. Some companies will have several rounds of interviews, and this will prevent you from having to wear the same outfit to all of them, or from going out and having to panic buy an outfit. If you are currently in the job search, there is the Career Clothing Fund available for students who need assistance with purchasing interview clothing. More details in the online application can be found at www.tarleton.edu/career-services/career clothing fund. So, as we wrap up, I want you to think about how you can apply what you have learned here today. What can you do to prepare for future interviews? Maybe you need to try out some video conference software you've never used before, brainstorm answers to interview questions, or write a thank you note. Thank you so much for watching the Tarleton State University Career Services Interview Level 2 video. If you have any questions, please contact us at 254-968-9078 or careers@tarleton.edu.